Henry Stanley was a famous 19th century explorer who mapped out the Congo River. Now, this was by no means an easy task. He and his team were plagued by malaria and dysentery. Many of them starved to death, they were attacked by the natives with poison arrows and spears, and many of them drowned. His most famous expedition, which mapped out the entirety of the Congo River, took 999 days. He started with 228 men and ended with only 114, so only half of them made it. He was considered to be one of the most self-disciplined individuals in the world because he could have stopped the expedition at any time, but he persisted beyond all odds. The natives were so impressed by his willpower that they called him the Bula Matari, the breaker of rocks. Now, Stanley had an interesting routine that he would do every single day. He would wake up and shave first thing in the morning. Now, if you think about it, it's quite odd for someone stuck in the middle of the jungle with lack of supplies, men dying left and right, to spend every single morning making sure that he was clean shaven. But this little habit was actually the key to Stanley's success. Today we're going to look at how you can cultivate tremendous amounts of willpower, make sure you get tons of things done throughout the day, all by using a little trick like shaving to your advantage. Now, if you've been a prescriber of the channel for a long enough time, you've probably heard me talk about cues. To refresh your memory, cues can be anything that triggers a routine for a habit. It can be a sound, a smell, a time of day, an event, or even a location. It tells your brain that you should start your habit. However, cues also do something that's very interesting. See, we tend to associate certain cues with certain mindsets and feelings. For example, if you've ever gotten a new haircut from your favorite barber, you probably know the great feeling afterwards. You feel confident and excited, ready to take on the world, but all that's really changed was some hair off the top of your head. And that's why shaving was so effective for Stanley. See, although he was surrounded by despair and suffering in the middle of a jungle, he was able to get himself into the right mindset every single day by shaving. See, he associated clean shaving with being proper. It's something that a lot of people do before they head out to work. When you're clean shaven, you feel organized. You feel prepared to start the day. Shaving took him away from the whirlpool of negativity that surrounded him and put him into the mindset of discipline. This is a concept that I used quite often to my advantage in the past. From the age of 18 to 21, I was a door-to-door salesman who had to wear a suit every single day to work. And now this meant I spent more than 300 days per year in a suit, working my ass off, knocking on doors whether it was rain or shine. So I started to associate wearing a suit with hard work and perseverance. Now, when I quit my job and decided to build my own business online, I was faced with a major issue. I no longer had my boss looking over my shoulder, making sure that I was working hard every single day. I no longer had my coworkers who could reignite my motivation after 2 or 3 days of closing no sales. I needed something that could bring discipline and strength back into my life. So I decided to start wearing my suit every day to Starbucks, where I would work on my computer. And it actually worked. Every time I put on a suit, I was instantly transported back to the mindset I had at my old job. I felt motivated and ready to tackle on the world. Building a business online was no easy task because I really didn't know anything. I would spend a month building up a business just to see it fall and crumble. This happened multiple times, but eventually I found success. Wearing that suit gave me the discipline and strength I needed to persist even though I was only met with failure after failure. We all have things that we can do that can trigger these positive mindsets. Think back to your life. What is something that you tend to do on days where you get a whole lot done? It could be a shower, it could be doing your hair properly, it could be putting on makeup, it could be shaving just like Stanley, it could be wearing your best clothes, it could be making your bed. Honestly, it could be anything. It differs from person to person. Figure out what it is and use it to your advantage. Try to stick to it every single day, because by actively trying to stick to this little habit, you will also build up the levels of willpower that you have. This is a concept that we dive into deeply in the Tamed course, which I will link to in the description box below. But basically, our willpower is sort of like a muscle. The more you actively go out of your way to use it to do something that isn't already a habit, the stronger your willpower muscle becomes. This means that you'll have more willpower, more strength over the long run to use for other hard tasks. Try it out. The next time you're feeling lazy in the morning, get up, take a shower, shave, and put on your best clothes or whatever you think is something you do on your best days, and you'll instantly feel better. And I'm telling you, you're gonna get a whole lot more accomplished